Welcome into Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today we got some great trade and free agency rumors surrounding the black and gold. We'll be diving into that in just 1 second. But before we do that, go ahead and answer today's question. What's your best memory as a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers? I know that you guys are passionate about the black and gold, and you guys have been fans for a long time. So go ahead, give me your best memory as a fan of the Steelers in the comments section below. All right, so now let's go over this first rumor, which is pretty darn big. Bleacher Report came out with a list of 5 trades that could potentially happen, and among that list was Leonard Williams, the defensive tackle from the Giants, to the Steelers. So this was their proposed trade idea. The Steelers would get Leonard Williams, and then they would send the Giants the 50th overall pick in next year's NFL draft, second-round pick, and then also a 4th-round pick, which is the 121st overall pick. So when I look at this trade, guys, I think that Leonard Williams is a really good player, and it's really interesting to see how he could fit into the potential D-line and potentially bring back the steel curtain in Pittsburgh. So this is what the author of the article had to say, Alex Ballantyne from Bleacher Report. This is what he had to say. In this trade, they reinvest in having a dominant interior with Leonard Williams. The 6'5", 302-pound Williams is a great fit in the Steelers' defense with the flexibility to play a 5 technique defensive end and 3-4 alignments, or in 3-4 alignments, and reducing down to a 3 technique in 4-man fronts. And he's absolutely right. This past season wasn't necessarily the best year for Leonard, only 2.5 sacks. He's usually above that. He had 12 QB hits. It's not a bad season. He graded above average according to Pro Football Focus's grading. So he's still a really good player. He's always been a solid player. He's been in the league for a very long time. Over the last 5 years, this is how he has shaken out among the league's best. This past year, he was the 18th best defensive tackle in the National Football League when he was on the field. He's extremely athletic. And then also these last couple years with the Giants has been really good. In 2020, had a ton of sacks as a defensive tackle, one of the best pass rushers at the position. Very athletic, good run stuffer as well. One of the best all-around defensive tackles in the National Football League. And if you bring in Leonard Williams, man, he's absolutely right. He can play that 5 technique and kind of replace that Larry Ogunjobi role, right? You still need a nose tackle, but you have Cameron Heyward as your dominant 3 technique. You bring Leonard Williams to play that 5 technique defensive end alongside T.J. Watt there in those base sets in the 3-4 alignment. And then when you go to your nickel packages, Leonard Williams can go right next to Cameron Heyward there as a defensive tackle because he's definitely got the size to play that role. This would definitely be a good fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers in my opinion. And coming up here, I'm going to tell you if the Steelers should make this trade for Leonard Williams. There's some pros, there's some cons. I'm going to be breaking that down in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Athletic Greens. I drink AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day, and I love it. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted more sustained energy throughout my day and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. AG1 combines all of your key health products in one convenient and tasty beverage. And in my line of work, guys, sometimes you have to put in those long hours. So AG1 helps me feel energized and sharp so I can be at my best no matter how busy my schedule gets. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with 12 ounces of water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. Easy. Simple. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day, which to me, that's pretty darn good. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients, which is a win-win for you and your health. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplemental routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. So let's break down Leonard Williams and his contract situation, because that's definitely going to be a big part in and if the Steelers consider trading for him this offseason. He only has 1 year left on his current contract, and if the Steelers trade for him, they would be on the hook for $18 million of his base salary, and he would likely be signing an extension if he was traded to the Steelers, because the Steelers aren't going to just trade for him for 1 year of production. If they trade that second-round pick, if they trade that fourth-round pick, they're going to want to lock him up to an extension, and this is what the hypothetical Steelers defensive line would look like. You would have Cam Heyward there. You would have Leonard Williams at the 5 technique. Montravius Adams would be the nose tackle for now, but I think that the Steelers are definitely going to address that position either in the draft, in free agency this year, or both. So we'll see how that position shakes out. But, you know, you take a look at the trade here. You're giving up quite a bit, okay? That 50th overall pick, that's another rookie contract, another potential young starter that you're giving up there, and then the 4th-round pick is also pretty hefty as well. So let me know in the comment section right now, would you make this trade? Type Y or type yes or type N. Give me your answer to this question here. I really think that for me, I'm not sure if the Steelers are going to make this trade, because the question is, how much is Pittsburgh going to be willing to spend on their defensive line moving forward? Because if you make this trade and you give Alex Highsmith an extension, this defensive line is going to be extremely expensive down the line. So coming up, not next year, but in 2024, if you make this trade and you give Leonard Williams and Alex Highsmith extensions, this is what the Steelers would be on the hook for heading into 2024. You'd be paying TJ Watt over $30 million cap hit in 2024. Cameron Heyward getting older, still over a $20 million cap hit. Alex, and this is the lower end of the spectrum of what they might sign for if they're extended, right? $17 million is kind of the floor for what Highsmith is going to be expected to be signing for with an extension. Williams, with Daron Payne and Javon Hargrave in free agency this offseason, getting ready to reset the defensive tackle market, it's going to be at least $20 million per season to extend Leonard Williams as well. So if you count all of this up, you would be spending almost $90 million. $90 million on just your defensive line, which would be almost half of your entire team's salary cap, which would just be absolutely insane, especially when you take into account some other big contracts that the Steelers are going to be on the hook for in 2024, like Minkah Fitzpatrick at $18 million, like Diontae Johnson that's going to be on the hook for almost $16 million as well. And when you add those contracts to the figure, it's almost 60% of the Steelers' cap for 2024 with just 6 players. So man, if you trade for Leonard Williams, it's really going to cost you a lot. It's going to really limit what you can do in terms of other positions. It's going to limit what you can do at cornerback, at inside linebacker. The good news is that you do have a pretty cheap quarterback in Kenny Pickett on his rookie deal. So the Steelers could potentially make this work. It's just going to cost a lot of money, and you're going to be paying really just a handful of guys pretty much all of the money on the Steelers cap. So if you want Steelers news and rumors content all off season long, okay, guys, we're about to unveil something that you can only see on ESPN Plus. ESPN charges you $10 a month to see that content. We are going to be providing that for you here on the channel, 100% free. So if you want premium Steelers content all off season long, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. All right, so now we have some free agency rumors via ESPN, and like I said, you can only view this on ESPN Plus, but we're going to give it to you for free here on Steelers Talk because we're nice people here at Chat Sports. This is what they had to say. So pick a cornerback for now. Okay, guys, so which guy would you rather sign here? Cameron Sutton, type CS in the comment section, or Rock Ya-Sin, type RY. Let me know in the comment section right now. I'm about to break down what ESPN says right now, which they say Cameron Sutton, let him walk, and he goes to San Francisco. And then they say Rock Ya-Sin, sign him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a cheaper option. It's very interesting to me that they would have Rock Ya-Sin signed with the Steelers. This is what Matt Bowen, the author of the article, had to say. Yassin is well versed in both man and zone schemes and has a physical approach to the game. So he would be an upgrade. So he would upgrade the perimeter of the Steelers secondary. And on the surface, I definitely agree with Bowen here. Rock Ya-Sin is a good player. He's going to be a bit of a cheaper option. PFF expects his market value to be about $9 million for 3 years. And he does have experience playing in both zone and man concepts here during his career. He can play both. The Steelers like to play both in their scheme. They introduced more man concepts in their scheme this season. So it's very, very possible that going into next year that Rock Ya-Sin could be a good fit, somebody that can play both man and zone, someone that can be versatile there, and someone that's a cheaper option than someone like a Cam Sutton. So this is what the potential depth chart could look like for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they were to sign Rock Ya-Sin, who would probably be him and either Levi Wallace or Ahkello Witherspoon starting. William Jackson III technically under contract for next year, but I think he's going to be a cap casualty. And then Arthur Maulet would most likely be the starting nickelback unless the Steelers drafted another cornerback that could play the nickel. If you're going to sign Rock Ya-Sin, that essentially means Cameron Sutton is going somewhere else. You're not signing Cam Sutton because plain simply, he's somebody that is going to make a lot of money at free agency, right? He's one of the top 3 cornerback free agents according to Pro Football Focus, and right now they project his salary to be at 3 years, about $12 million per season. And listen, he's a valuable piece, right? He can play both inside and outside. He graded very well for Pro Football Focus this last year. There's going to be a lot of teams that are in playoff and Super Bowl contention that want this guy on their roster. So are the Steelers really willing to dish out a big contract for a cornerback when, the new assistant GM, Andy Weidel, and Omar Khan, it's looking like that they're not going to really put a focus on cornerbacks. So are they really willing to sign a guy for that amount of money? All right, guys, go ahead into the comment section. If you haven't already, pick a cornerback to sign here. So after all these arguments, all these pros and cons, which cornerback do you want the Steelers to sign? Type CS if you still want Cam Sutton, or type RY if you think Rock Ya-Sin. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you made it to the end of the video, you are a true friend of the show. You are a true Yinzer. So go ahead and identify yourselves right now in the comment section by typing "Here we go" in all caps. All right, Yinzers, that'll be it for today's show. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.